And we are back with semifinals, and we will see two teams we have seen. We just saw Please Forfeit qualify for this semifinal right away by winning on Hagglefish zones. And going against them on Hagglefish zones will be Rugrats, which we saw it hazard in such like a weird comeback that they had. And we're going to see both of these teams go against each other. And I'm still Pat here with Chili Boy.
Yeah, we're still here. We're still on Hagglefish zones. Bit of deja vu as we've just come off that, but we both have our bottles of water. We're both good to go. Stay hydrated, everybody. We chatted away for a little bit longer as we get into semi-finals here. We are moving into best of fives as well with full counter picks. So this is our kind of neutral starting point, and then there will be potentially 4 opportunities of counter picks depending on how these games play. We know both these teams are really aggressive and on top form this evening. We'll see how that plays out here. Looks like we've got the wide Barnacle coming out from Rugrats here.
Yes, with a main of special charge up. When you go against Please Forfeit on Hagglefish zones, that's what you want to bring. A lot of missiles. You don't want to leave your shell with a sniper any room. You want to constantly make them move, make there be like dancing and dodging. And that's like Rugrats is doing what they need to do right now. They have the zone going their way, they have the lead, and Please Forfeit is just fighting to get in.
Yeah, you're spot on, Pat. You can't have a threat like your shell just be allowed to sit somewhere unthreatened, and wipers absolutely force that displacement with the missiles. So it does look like it worked out well for Rugrats initially. Please Forfeit have recovered, and now the counter offensive is coming out from their part. The missiles doing what they can to slow progress, but it's looking really scrappy. It's 2 aside right now, and it's a stalemate in the zone, but it's not exactly a recovery for Rugrats. It's still looking quite challenging to paint. We saw how quick Please Forfeit painted earlier and how long they held the zone for. That 2 players down should do it for Rugrats though.
Yeah, Rugrats looks like they are in control. They are really forcing Please Forfeit to find ways to get in, and Rugrats right now, no penalty, looking to get past that 50 mark and get the lead.
Yeah, the specials are at the ready for Please Forfeit. The wave breaker there. The hammer beautifully getting the swipe on someone. The bubbler also out, so it is a full onslaught of Please Forfeit's offensive potential. They have an inkjet in their pocket, ready to deal with Rugrats' counter push, so that's quite interesting. It looks like they're saving that for a defensive measure, knowing that Rugrats will use the missiles to initiate some counterplay. The jet has now come out, forcing Rugrats to hide. Little Woomy there hiding behind the wall. But yeah, look at the time this is taking Rugrats just to get set up for the counter push. This is what Please Forfeit do so well. They bully people so far back that it just takes so long to even begin the counter push, really.
Yeah, it is, and right now, as they get to the zone, it's a 2v2. Rugrats looking just to paint the zone. It's neutralized, but not penalized. And Please Forfeit, they'll keep scoring points. They just have 20 points left, and in just 10 seconds, they will get this game.
Absolutely brutal finish by them. Rugrats, when they went for their counter push, players just went down at such an unfortunate time. By the time the Splash-O-Matic popped their crab tank, they were the only one left on the field for Rugrats, and as soon as Please Forfeit knew they just needed to close that game out, even Yoshel on Elite are moving really far forward, throwing that wave breaker into their side and just making sure they will have no time to recover. So Please Forfeit doing what we expect them to do on Hagglefish zones. Nice fist bump coming in, but as Pat the Prophet prophesized, they don't lose here. Please Forfeit just do not lose here.
Please Forfeit, they like, that's their counter pick. It's like Please Forfeit had a free counter pick at the start of this set, and that's like such a huge benefit for them. Now Rugrats to choose the mapper, to go with what they prefer, and they make the right choice, I think, with Flounder Heights, because on Flounder Heights, it is bad.
Fair. It's you don't hear that statement often, but I think Flounder Heights is one of those maps where Elite really doesn't have that same terrifying presence across the whole of the map that we have seen on some of the Splatoon 3 map designs. Rugrats did not think long about that either. They were very quick to lock in this map mode combination, so they definitely have a strategy here. They definitely feel confident, and this feels like they are sensing a bit of a weakness in Please Forfeit's playstyle for Flounder. So we'll see how that plays out. A team of Please Forfeit's caliber, though, they're not really going to have any weak spots. They're just going to have areas that are less strong. And I do believe Yoshel has some pocket picks with the Splatlings for occasions like this.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see Yoshel go with a ballpoint. But anyways, if you want to beat Please Forfeit, you have to go on maps where the elite is not good. And like a map that's as crappy as Flounder Heights is going to give the rugrats the opportunity to do red things.
Yeah, I really like their composition here. I think Please Forfeit have responded well. They're bringing out the brush again, which is a weapon they've used to great effect for distraction on these kind of closer maps before. And as you said, Pat, it is the ballpoint Yoshel went with. So Please Forfeit opening up pretty strong here, getting 2 players down, shutting down the tactical account play that Rugrats were going for. 3 down now in a scattered way. So Please Forfeit again. Look how much they're already bullying people in their spawn. This is what they do.
Yeah, Please Forfeit, like, they enjoy. It's like they are in full control of everything that's happening. Both the zones are theirs, and they are again bringing the fight to the enemy. And I'm starting to think it's not just the map. Like, don't pick zones against Please Forfeit. They pick so well, constantly keeping the fight away from the zone and keeping things going their way.
We have a tactical reduced tri-slosher for Rugrats here now that did manage to get a pick. This is the first chance to apply a penalty, and Rugrats are going to do it. So showing that they know how to recover on this map as well, and it is not going to be the blowout we saw from them on Hagglefish. But I think you're right, Pat. The counter play, the objective play that Please Forfeit have is really impressive. And their way before, as soon as the tri-strikes are being used to recover, 3 of the players immediately just painted over the zone. So Please Forfeit, they're not just good offensively, they're very good at objective awareness here. And that balance is what makes them so threatening.
Yeah, very threatening balance. And Rugrats, they are just like struggling to get any dent on their own side of the map. That tri-strike is going to allow them to maybe get something going, but they have 2 players down right now, and they are just looking to play the zone, their own zone, but they can't get anywhere near their own. Finally, that crab tank is going to neutralize their zone. But look at this, like, Please Forfeit, they are all around, and they are not minding. They can wait for things to go by. As long as their zone stays yellow, they know they will get this game, and just 30 points away from victory with 3 players up holding mid.
It's looking a big uphill battle for Rugrats here. They're getting shut down, they're getting displaced. Aloha did such a good job sharking on that wall until the crab tank expired, and then just went so aggressive for the kills, and it does look like it is going to clutch out there. They did. Sadly, at the end, Rugrats got their first numbers advantage in players for a while. They were 4-2 up, but by then the damage was done. Look at that map, Pat. They did so well, Please Forfeit, to hold mid for the entirety of that game, really. And even though there was some good signs of life from Rugrats to make that initial recovery, we're seeing that same pattern play out of Please Forfeit, just dialing the aggression to 1 million and overwhelming people.
Yeah, it's like they found the right map to contain Yoshel's deadly stare with the elite. But they also gave Aloha and Zenith the opportunities to just getting an absolutely ruined their day with the tri-slasher and the brush. And like that's like the power of Please Forfeit. Like they're a team that's so diverse in their playstyles. I mean, they go between the ink brush and the eliter working together. They have so much speed and so much solidity at the same time. You really need to match them on every picture.
Yeah, you really do, and that is so hard against a team of their caliber. They're definitely the right option for Zenith to swap away from the wiper to the ink brush for Flounder, because it absolutely did the job of distracting, raining ink down, causing enough distraction to to kind of scatter their opponents really and put them into kind of a disadvantaged state. The fact that we're in best of 5 now means Rugrats do have one final chance to turn this around. They're thinking a bit longer about their counter pick this time, which does make sense. They're on their tournament life. They've done really well. They've made it to semis. They can be proud however it goes from here, but this is their final chance to dictate the pace of this set on their terms and try to expose a weakness and please forfeit's playstyle.
Yeah, and Chili, I just checked whether in groups or in this top bracket, please forfeit has not lost a game today.
Wow.
They could get into the finals without losing a game. And shoutouts to Zarini, we are going to battle time.
The first thing I just did was check if Zari was still in chat, just so that she can have this moment. It's Clamblitz Zari. I don't know if that's your favorite combination for Barnacle, but look, it finally happened. It took us to semi-finals of the single elim bracket, but you are gonna see Barnacle and Dime action on Clamblitz. I really like this counter pick actually. It's not exactly going to be a weak spot for please forfeit, but with what we've seen in terms of Rugrats play style, it also lends themselves well. The problem is, I think this is a strong map for all of please forfeit's kind of weapon choices, which is the scary bit.
Oh, like going on Barnacle and Dime against a cracked Elite player is risky, but at the same time, going for Clamblitz against a cracked Inkbrush player is... What are you doing? Like, do you have a secret plan that we don't get? Because like this looks on paper like please forfeit is doing the counter pick.
Well, to be fair, Pat, where would you take a team like please forfeit where you would feel like their comp wouldn't work? Because I think that's the scary thing about them is they can just adapt their comp to the map mode, can't they? Like
that's why I'm a commentator. I don't get to semi-final.
That is a very solid answer, but unfortunately, Rugrats do not have that luxury right now. They're competing. They have no choice. They are forced to face please forfeit at least one more time. Interesting switch ups on the weapon choices. So the Nautilus has come back up from Rugrats, and I really like that as a pick actually.
Yeah, meanwhile, please forfeit no Inkbrush. I'm kind of surprised he's going to the Viper. That's come out.
Yeah, I would have thought Brush would have been slightly stronger here, but we'll see what the game plan is. It looks like it's 2 aside right now. Here comes Zenith with the wiper, but they are being denied with the stamp. That was very, very nicely done. So Rugrats holding their own for the first half a minute here, but they've gone down a few times. It looks like please forfeit are slightly edging out the engagements, but we're still in a relatively neutral position at this stage.
Yeah, both teams just looking to get something going their way. And right now, please forfeit is just in it. With the Stamper is going to get punished. That's a delayed wipe in favor of the Rugrats. They don't have that many clans, but they are right under the basket, ready to get that push into it to score some points. And they have 2 down to get 3 down for Rugrats. They just need a ball, and that's it. Points going their way. That was the right counter pick. Okay, I was wrong, I guess.
Gorgeous play by Rugrats there. The first big push. Zari is in stream watching this. Look, Zari, this is how you push and play on Barnacle and Dime. Enjoy this moment. Rugrats giving us a beautiful showcase here. Their bubbler position was set up really nicely as well, but please forfeit have managed to force Rugrats back enough to end that push there. But to Rugrats' credit, they didn't get wiped. They didn't give up too much ground. They just moved back into more of a neutral position, and I think that was a really smart decision because that puts them in a much stronger position to get a second wind.
Yeah, that was a kind of a limited push, limited first push, but Rugrats, they are still in control of the map, and right now it looks like please forfeit is getting on the offensive. They are getting 3 picks. It's just a delayed wipe now. And please forfeit, it's their turn to get in, to get the big bubbler and score some points, and 2 balls are going to go right in, and please forfeit gets the lead.
And I think with, the bubbler kind of placement from both teams has been very, very similar, but you can see the strength in it. It holds that whole section around the basket and makes it quite hard to contest. And it's worked beautifully for both teams, but please forfeit. Look at this. They've got so many extra clams in. They had so many built up prior to the push, which helped, but they are finally shut down. But what a statement. Like, Rugrats are going to have to catch their breath, not get too deflated, and do what they did before, because it's totally possible for them to take this. But please forfeit, now forcing Rugrats to have to play aggressively.
Yeah, we've seen Rugrats like get the picks, get the control, get the push. They just need to do it again, and they get that lead back. That's all they need right now. It's just pretty much the same push they had at the start of the game, and they get that lead. Please forfeit right now. They are in position, and it looks like they are not stopping.
2 minutes on the clock to make it happen, but please forfeit making that difficult. That was nice, patient ultra stamp play by Zini there to give them credit. They waited for their moment before going in. Does look like please forfeit might be the ones that get another opportunity here. They've slightly edged out of what was been the zone area and are now putting a lot of pressure on Rugrats' side of the map. Rugrats are doing what they can to hold, but it feels like the game's slipping away from them slowly.
Yeah, Rugrats using the inkjet just to try to keep things going their way, but these forfeit with the crazy push and the big bubbler, they're able to put two balls in, extend their lead just a little bit, and now Rugrats, they need a very solid push if they want to get back in, and they just have a minute to get it.
They have 15 clams to their count at the moment, so they are setting up for the one big push. I think they know they only need one good push here to turn this around. That is definitely how I would be thinking about it if I were them. But please forfeit just so good at the power clams from the sky as well, Pat. I just wanted to say that. Go on.
Yeah. But they need more than two super clams, and that's all they have right now. And they are struggling just to move forward. This forfeit, they took a bit of risk with that stamper that didn't pay off much. But Rugrats, they're still not in there. They're still struggling to maintain just those two balls alive. And that's the problem with two super clams that you want to score, is that you have two players that are completely feasible, that cannot shark, that cannot... that have just a target on their back.
There is no more time to stall here. The time is now. They have to make a move. They're in overtime. They're desperately trying to get to the basket. That was a trade with the bomb. There is one player up. They are going to break the basket, but can they let their teammates get back in? There is a jump, but the jump is camped. This is a real scrap for Rugrats here. They've done everything they can, but please forfeit, anticipating those jumps, did what they need to hold, and they are going to take that 3-0, although that was much more of a struggle. But it was like you were saying, Pat, they were running out of time, and it was quite interesting to watch kind of the kind of splats. Please forfeit went down a lot over that last half a minute, but they were going down about 2 plays at a time and holding on enough for those plays to recover before more players went down. So Rugrats, they had the right idea there, but they were just really struggling to make progress. They weren't getting enough players down at the same time, or they weren't able to capitalize off the splats enough to get the ground they needed for that push to be much scarier.
And I mean, congratulations to Please Forfeit. You guys are back into paddling pool finals, as you've been so many times, and like Please Forfeit in there without losing a single game, showing us how it's done on stream again. And that was really a great push that they had, and great defense that they had for the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely monstrous gameplay. Really showing that they want to challenge that 6th speed, but that 6th seed. But Rugrats as well gave us a fantastic showing. They are really asserting themselves as a strong team in recent Dapples tournaments, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of them soon. They can be really proud of how they've done. That does make Please Forfeit our first finalists, and after this short break, we will know who will be facing them to try and take the paddling crown.